It's got to that point where all you can do is wait for the sweet, sweet feel of oblivion. I can't believe we're 5 issues into the storyline, and it's like nothing's going on. I will say, I do like the cover. I checked inside who it was. I already forgot their name. I do like the cover guy. Should do issues. I like this artwork, dude. You deserve a writer. Granted, you're probably too young to understand that if you crack an old tube screen, this goes blank. But I can let that pass. Your shading has depth, everything. This is really good. Like, it's kind of manga style, but I like it. The cover artist needs his own book. Oh, Mojo Worldwide comes, just drags on. Yay, nice big group shot. Who cares? What we got? We have 1, 2, 3, 5 actual X-Men in this entire pile. We have the X-Babies. No, 6, sorry. Not Wolverine. Again, not Wolverine. I really don't know why. Whoever thought this character was a good idea. This baby, not Wolverine. I have a feeling that they're going to spin off the X-Babies and Young Wolverine into their own series. And hopefully no one reads it. Like, they've taken a bunch of kids who grew up in the 60s, and they're just instantly in the 90s. Or in the 90s. God, I've just really dated myself. I feel really old now. They're instantly in the 2017s. With the Twitters and like... The only one of these characters that acts anything like they normally do is Scott. And I guess that's the only reason I like young Scott. He actually acts like I expect Scott to act. The whole squad is in Mojo World. What's he gonna do? His kind of town. He's got his own planet. What does he do with Manhattan? You'll see excrements. See what I did there? I don't know how to tell you this, dude. But, it's still not funny. It wasn't, your humor wasn't funny before. It hasn't been yet. None of the jokes have landed. We've got, I know they're X-Men. God damn it, Furnace, why do you do this to me? I'm not entirely sure who she is. Is that Karma? Dressed in X-Men colors. I'm actually not sure that is either. So, yeah, stop that. Oh, look, Wolvie Spore. There's a swear word. Not really, but it's a swear word. Plenty of other X-Men and heroes to deal with what's going on back in New York. If there were any X-Men, they could come inside. Because, as we've already shown, the bubbles are programmed to allow X-Men DNA through. Although that doesn't explain why Danger made it in last issue. Danger is a machine. Danger doesn't have DNA. But if we started looking at continuity issues and plot holes now, 5 issues in, expect the editor to look at that kind of stuff. They're being assaulted by a bunch of pseudo-mojos, and Spiral finally makes an appearance. Like, finally Spiral makes an appearance, and she got one coming out of her back? 1, 2, that's 6, but that one's coming out of, like, her back. I don't think they ever came out of her back. I think they all kind of came out of, like, roughly her shoulder area. I'd have to check. It's been a while since Spiral's been in anything that I've read. More fighting. What? This is no simulation. You're in the real world. If you die now, you're really dead. You're really dead. I think we've established that there's no stakes in this event. It's a meh event. There are no stakes. All of these characters show up somewhere else. If they kill anyone off, I'll be goddamn disappointed that they died in this effing mess. You know, this is not seem like a place to get rid of anyone. Like, and the weird part is that it takes, like, they stretched everything out so much in this. Here it is. We need to take the fight to him. Loving that plan. Where is he? Know where he is? Nope. I'm gonna reconnoiter. Jean, you're in charge till I get back. Jean. Kitty, who at this point I thought was a competent leader, given the fact that Catherine Pride has had the most extensive amount of character growth and shows the most maturity out of pretty much everyone in the X-Men. I go, well, like, okay, so Nightcrawler has some can't die issues and things like that, and Petey's been dead once and a couple other things, but Kitty is the one that's really had the most growth as a character, and she leaves Jean in charge. She leaves, 16-year-old Jean Grey in charge. So, let's think about this. She's passed over Storm, who was a leader of the X-Men for the longest time. One of its really good leaders from the era I read in, the late 80s. She's passed over Nightcrawler, who would have made a good leader. Rachel would have made a good leader. She knows what she's doing. I'm not sure I'd put Colossus in charge. I mean, Petey's a nice guy, but he's really not leadership material. He's that guy you lean on. Old Man Logan. Wolverine's not really. Wolverine doesn't want to be a leader, and not Wolverine is probably the exact same. And then the rest are people you wouldn't put in charge. You wouldn't put these people in charge of leading ants to a picnic. Ice Guy, Iceman. Now I can see. It took me a little bit to figure this out. Why Longshot is calling him Ice Guy? It's like, oh, that's young Bobby Drake, so it's not actually Iceman. None of this could have been tightened up so nicely. We get the two not Wolverines together. I ain't your dad. I know this is blah blah. You're impressive. Keep your head in the game. If I didn't know any better, I'm going to have to think that Guggenheim has at least watched. I'm going to really date myself here again. Think back to 1986, to Transformers the movie, and we have Kup and Rodimus. They're the same kind of personalities that I can stomach coming from Kup and Rodimus, but not from Not Wolverine and Not Wolverine Jr. They're flung in. But this could have been tightened up. This dialogue could have been moved to there. This panel could have been drug up, and then this panel could have been put on the last page. The pacing's terrible. The stuff that should have happened last page happens next page, and Guggenheim that bad at a script, or he thinks he needs to keep moving people to the next page, to the you can resolve a scene on a page without dragging over to the next. You don't have to do that. Katya, did I miss anything? Yet. One panel. Found Mojo's control room could have been here. Oh, Bugger could have been here. We could have saved ourselves about 2 pages worth of story by now. But then we wouldn't be able to drag this out 6 issues, would we? Right? You see, but this entire panel, but it's heavily fortified. We have one word balloon here. That word balloon, this all could have moved up. That could have been here. And we would have moved on to this part. All this could have moved up to there. This panel, the dialogue in this panel could have been moved up. And more action, we could have saved, we're at a couple pages worth of saving here. So we got Mags, Polaris, and Danger, who has no DNA, but got in through the things that screened for... Yeah, don't worry about it. They actually fought a kind of apocalypse earlier on. And they know this is all a simulation, right? And finally, so Danger figures out that this is more of a holodeck, and with the right push, they can bust out of it. Which I could have thought, no, you have the Master of Magnetism right here. Should have been able to figure out that none of this was real. Should have been able to figure out where all the power was coming from and just push through a wall and push and got through this. And done. And out and into Mojo World and causing destruction. Mags should have thought of that. He wouldn't need Danger to think of this. Mags is one of the smartest ex-villains they've faced. And I mean actual smart, brainy smart, not big pile of books, stuff like that. So now you want to talk wasted space. Wasted. You said this place heavily fortified. I was thinking weapons and stuff. Nope. But don't see any doors. There aren't any. Yet. You say yet or niet? Yet. That's what I thought. This whole page, in one thing here, could have been that dialogue done. They're dragging this out, so it goes out another issue. See, this whole blast could have been last page. Nice work, we're here. What are all these screens for? And that could have bled into this 2-page spread. Could have been research, where he's showing them all the different, a whole bunch of scenes from classic X stuff. And to tell you the truth, I'm thinking most of them are just downright lifted. Like, given that the art styles change, so these were downright lifted from original pages, right? Like that's like no one draws knobs like that anymore. That's John Romita's artwork. I'm not really sure about. I don't see why Bloodscream is here. She doesn't really need to be. That is definitely not this artist's stuff. Like, all of these were simply gleaned from different issues. Which means, like, okay, I get it. You're paying homage to all the past stuff. But at least do it in some of your own style, dude. Have the respect to do it in your own stuff. Right? That's everything that's ever happened to us. Any when. Showing us our futures, no our pasts. Ta-da! He's showing us unpleasant images, thinking we'll crack, but we're X-Men. You are the last person to be saying that. You are 16 years old. You don't know squat. There's a guy on the team sitting right here. Right there. Who's 200 and change. You don't get to call yourself that. So she blows all this up, and this could have been on the last panel. And here's a whole bunch more random bad guys to finish out the issue. As though that, like, they've gone through how many random bad guys already. And the only shining light, the only light at the end of the tunnel here is this. To be concluded. It finally ended. This issue is nothing. It's filler. This is almost as much filler. God damn it, Furnace. This is almost as much filler as the She-Hulk issue that came out this month, which had nothing happen in it. Frickin' nothing happened in this issue. Most of this issue you could have skipped and then got to the next one with the actual fight, because you know they're in Mojo World. You've missed nothing. Nothing's happened. They've really explained nothing. Tell you the truth, Longshot seems more interested in mugging for the camera than helping his friends. Which, I remember Longshot. Longshot was loyal to a fault. A little scatterbrain, but loyal to a fault. But now, it's like he doesn't care about everyone else. I would think that they were foreshadowing a backstab here by him being more interested in this than that. But Longshot shows up in an upcoming Cable issue, so he's actually being reintroduced to the universe. So I have to assume this is actually Longshot. Although he's got a shockingly 90s amount of pouches going on. Just nothing happened. Not a damn thing. This entire issue. Like they're just... Like, something interesting is going to happen in X-Men Gold 16. You know it's not. It's going to be that mutant from last issue. Or, whatever, 12. The one where they spent the entire issue trying to set the backstory for a compelling villain. Yeah, whatever. Wasting time. Just wasting. I've had 2 of these. 2 quality Canadian beer. Did not make this interesting. Ugh. If you'd like an actual Canadian to get mad at something, feel free to let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. And I will see you again for X-Men. I'll definitely see you for X-Men Blue 15. Unless, well, something far more interesting has to come on next week. But I'll see you back for the finality of this. If provided I don't drink myself into an alcoholic coma in the process. See you later.